All right, welcome. We're going to be working on our first simple drawing project with code today. This is a project you'll be starting from scratch, so it's not part of the lessons. So I will show you how to get there. So I just finished lesson 5 here. I'm going to click on the code icon in the top left corner, and that'll take you to your dashboard. If you scroll down almost all the way to the bottom, you'll see we have some projects here: Sprite Lab, Artist, App Lab, and we're using Game Lab. So go ahead and click on Game Lab. Now you'll notice it looks somewhat familiar, but there's a whole lot more commands that we have not touched on. So you don't have to worry about any of those, like this world we haven't done yet. You're not going to do anything in world. You're going to worry about drawing, math, and variables. Those are the things you're going to have in there. We don't even need this function, so I'm going to delete it automatically. We will be using that one, but just not to begin with. So your requirements: you need to have a background. Again, that needs to be in the back, so therefore it needs to be on the top of your list. So I would start with adding a background. At least 5 different shapes, blocks, including rectangles and ellipses. So you're going to draw some kind of picture. It can be a random picture. It can be an actual picture of something. But I want to have ellipses and rectangles. You need to have at least 5 different shapes that you have coded in there. At least 3 different color fills. So you're going to have a background color plus 3 more colors. You're going to have at least 4 colors in your drawing. And again, these in parentheses is what area you're going to look for them. Your program's going to have at least 1 random number in it and at least 1 variable. And we just did the variables. And the variable needs to be utilized at least 4 times. So I want to see that variable used 4 times in the rest of the program. So I do have some samples here for you to look at. So pulsing circles. Now some of these are more elaborate than what you may be doing. It's completely up to you. So here I have 4 rectangles and I have a whole lot more circles or ellipses. And so if I refresh it, I believe the inner circles are going to change size. So that's where my random number comes in. If you go to view code here, you can see my actual code work and you can see what I've put into it. So I have a variable called circle and that's set at 100. And I have that for all of my bigger circles. So I've used it there. So you can see circle, 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 and I made it shorter just to make it easier. And I have another variable called small, and that was for my smaller circles, and so you can see all of those down here. And then you have a random number in the variable, and I do recommend that. That's going to make it easier to see. So again, I have a whole lot of circles in here, okay? Dark violet, I did them all together. So anything under 1 color fill is going to be down. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different colors in here. Okay, you only need 3, including your background, which is a sky blue, and then I did 2, I guess I just have 2 rectangles on there. Okay, so there is that one. Fall leaves, this is like making an action. That one was just a pattern that I did. This one is a fall picture, and again, if you refresh it, you'll see that the orange leaves change colors each time. And again, you can view your code, my code, take a look at what it's looking like. So this is to help you to be able to create your own. I don't just want you copying it your own, okay? So variable is orange. So you can see I have it all down here and all my ellipses that were orange. And again, you don't have to do this many. This was just made sense to my design. And again, I'm putting my random number in my variable. You don't have to, but as long as you have a random number in there as well. Okay, and color lines, this one's a little bit more complex if you want to try something a little bit more. So this time, each time I refresh it, my lines should be different sizes, but they're all still relative to each other. There you go. That last one you can really show. Okay, view code again. Okay, so my variable is length, and I set my random number somewhere between 0 and 300. So my first one is my lime green, which I have a rectangle and ellipse for each fill to make each of my lines. Oops, run. Okay, and so here I did something a little bit different. I have my length plus 50. So my medium green here is my length plus 50. Okay, for both of them. So that just keeps it, so it's always going to be 50 more than my first one. And then I go 100, 150. And again, that's not something you have to do. It's just something if you wanted to try a little bit more difficult, wanted to expand a little bit from what we already know. So all of those are there. There's some other student samples from last quarter as well. So once you have created, again, you're only going to be using drawing, math, and variables. So if you want to start with your background, it's good to have some kind of plan before you just start throwing things on there. So have an idea of what you're going to put on there. Again, make sure you're looking at the requirements. Use that variable multiple times, not just once. If you're only going to use it once, then there's no real need to use it, okay? So then what you're going to have to do is paste the link to your finished project here. You're not going to do a screenshot because I want to be able to go see the random number. I want to go see your code. And then what is something that was a challenge in creating this? And what is something you felt worked well, even if it might have been hard, but once you got it, it worked well for you. So to get your link, so I'm just going to do something simple, background, pink, run it. Okay, go ahead, rename your picture. So up at the top, there's an option to rename. I'm going to go pink background. And I'm going to save it. Okay, once you have it, there is a share option. So once you get the share, which apparently I need to change. But once you click share, it's going to give you a link that you will copy and then paste into the document. So I will go check on that and make sure it works. And hopefully we'll get that and I will get your link. And I enjoy looking to see your projects. It's always fun to see what you guys come up with on this one. All right, we'll talk to you later.